Welcome to my presentation on Dr. Jesus Rosales Ruiz. Dr. Jesus Rosales Ruiz is actively researching at the University of North Texas under the guise of an associate professor for their behavior analysis program. He has worked with other behavior analysts to study both humans and animals. His contribution to the study of behavior in humans that I read range from 1996 to 2010 and include the effects and limits of stimulus equivalence, behavioral cusps and their role in human development, highlighting the importance of generalization and the effectiveness of verbal behavior as a practicing behavior analyst. It is also noteworthy that Dr. Rosales Ruiz worked with Donald M. Bayer on the majority of the articles listed on the reference page. Dr. Rosales Ruiz was the lead author for 2 of the articles I read. These articles focused on behavioral cusps and stimulus equivalence, which I will go into more detail later in the presentation. The last 3 articles I read, Dr. Rosales Ruiz co-authored on topics such as the verbal behavior of behavior analysts, stimulus equivalence, and generalization. So one of Dr. Rosales Ruiz's contributions to the field includes research on stimulus equivalence. Both of the articles about stimulus equivalence researched how certain stimuli can affect the ability to accurately respond to untrained stimulus relations after the reinforcement to some other response relations. The Duarte et al. 1998 article found that providing a can't answer response reduced or eliminated the development of stimulus equivalence. Through this research, it is implied that you can teach something in a way that limits the ability of students to learn. In the case of the 1998 article, it was promoting a can't answer response that students could choose. The Rosales Ruiz 2000 article concluded that more research was needed to determine the effects of certain verbs on stimulus equivalence, because while some of the verbs they used did interfere with the development of stimulus equivalence, others did not. In the Rosales Ruiz and Bayer 1997 article, we find a discussion of behavioral cusps. These cusps are defined as socially viable behavior changes that affect the organism by opening up new environmental experiences. The behavior and its consequences must be seen as important to others, and because of this will vary from individual to individual. These behavioral cusps illustrate that there are some behavior changes that we go through that open up a whole new world of possibilities. These changes are not always complex. We do not have to manage them, and the outcome of these changes determines what happens next. Dr. Rosales Ruiz has also provided research for the communication realm of behavior analysis through the concepts of generalization and verbal behavior. In the Espenshade and Rosales Ruiz 2001 article, the authors researched how well they could increase generalization across different tasks. They worked to teach question asking to a 5-year-old with autism using only praise as a reinforcer. The results of their effort included the child being able to ask questions in 3 of the tasks practiced and receiving verbal reports from the family that the child continued to ask questions in different settings. Generalization is something a behavior analyst should always aim for because there is no way to be effective if the targeted behavior only exists when you are face-to-face with a child handing over edibles. The objective is to have the behavior emitted with natural consequences acting as reinforcers. And then in the Blale, Ale Rosales, and Rosales Ruiz 2010 article, the authors researched the effectiveness of a training teaching empathetic verbal behavior to practicing behavior analysts. The authors were able to increase the amount of maximum supportive statements the practitioners used after having them go through this training. The supportive statements, they consider them to be invaluable to practitioners because you must be able to connect with your clients, especially when the client is confronted with aversive stimuli. Being able to empathize and support your client through these situations can help you better serve them. Then the following questions are designed to elicit more information from Dr. Rosales Ruiz about him as a behavior analyst and his future in the field. I am interested in knowing what led to his involvement in the field, which analysts influenced him, his plans for research in the field, especially in regards to behavior cusps, and what he finds intriguing about stimulus equivalence. And then here is the references page that contains the articles I used to create this presentation. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned about Dr. Jesus Rosales Ruiz and are maybe a little bit interested in seeing what other contributions he adds to the field of behavior analysis. I know that I am.